Hello, my loves. I am back today with another Valentine's Day recipe for you. If you can't tell by the pink and the red, this is actually rhodonite, which puts love and compassion out into the world. Perfect for Valentine's Day. Today we are making red velvet cookies with a cream cheese icing. Let's get started. Those of you who follow me already know I always start off with my dry ingredients. I already have them here ready to get sifted. In this particular recipe, which came as a surprise to me not that long ago, red velvet cookies are actually made with cocoa powder. You would think because of their bright red color that they're made with some type of fruit, like maybe a strawberry or a raspberry, something that helps give it that color. Nope, definitely chocolate. So I'm sifting together flour, cocoa powder, salt, baking powder, and baking soda. I knew there was something else in there. Oh, and a little bit of salt. As always, you guys, the full list of ingredients is down below for you, and I always put the link to the full recipe on my blog in the notes for you down below, so you can always click on that if you want the full recipe. I'm just gonna sift it all together and make sure there are no lumps and bumps left in there. I thought there would be, I can see some already. Cocoa always leaves just a little bit of lumps in there. Also, fun fact, people always say, your stuff tastes so good and I try to make it and mine tastes good too, but it never tastes exactly the same. Sourcing, you guys. I source my ingredients from all around the world whenever I travel. I always bring back ingredients with me. So my cocoa powder is actually sourced from Africa, which has some of the best cocoa beans in the world. That is why anything that I make with chocolate in it always tastes a little extra special. So, got my dry ingredients all sifted. Now it's time to work on those wet ingredients. You already know how it's done. We're starting off by creaming together 1 cup of softened butter with 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. I'm not sure why, but people always try to rush through this part and cream together the butter and sugar really fast. That's not how you get the desired consistency that you want. You have to be patient. You want to make sure that it's nice and fluffy before adding in your eggs. So take your time. We'll fast forward through this part. I'm not going to make you watch me cream together sugar and butter for the next 3 minutes. Now that we have that nice and fluffy cream together butter and sugar, it's time to add in our eggs. I always add in my eggs 1 at a time because I don't want to undermix. I want to make sure that each egg has plenty of time to incorporate itself into this butter and sugar mixture. So I'm just going to pour in 1 egg, slowly and carefully. Go. Okay, fine. I'm pouring both in. That's what happens when you try to record while you're cooking. Both eggs are going in. I'll just make sure I take my time to make sure they're both really well incorporated. That's how y'all know I keep it real with y'all, because we keep all the bloopers inside of every video that we make. It's supposed to be 1 egg at a time, 2 went in. Honestly, as long as I take time to make sure they're both really well incorporated, the cookies are gonna come out just fine. You just wanna make sure you keep mixing and mixing and mixing until everything is super fluffy. That is how you get that nice, chewy middle inside of your cookies. Voila, just like that. The last thing we need to add to our wet mixture is a little bit of vanilla extract. We're going with 2 teaspoons this time around. I'm gonna measure it out because you guys know I'm a little heavy-handed with the vanilla extract sometimes. After you add in your vanilla extract, we're gonna add in some red food coloring. Be careful when you pour it. You don't wanna spill it anywhere on your clothes or your countertop. Also, as you're starting to mix this in slowly, check to make sure this is the color red that you're looking for. Some people like a really rich, vibrant red color. Others, like myself, like a subtle red, something gentle that says, hey, Valentine's Day, instead of I'm dripping in red dye, if you know what I mean. So this looks perfect. It's a nice, subtle red. Oh my God, it smells amazing. All that vanilla extract and sugar, cheese and rice. Oh, these cookies are gonna be beautiful. And then also remember, this red is gonna tone down just a little bit because we're adding in the dry mixture next, which is gonna help absorb some of this red color we've got going on in here. If you have any butter and sugar stuck to the side of your bowl, just go ahead and scrape it down with a spatula before we mix in the dry ingredients. Start adding in your dry mixture just a little bit at a time. I like to use a measuring scoop, that way I can make sure none of the powder goes flying everywhere. It also just helps me make sure I'm only portioning in a tiny bit at a time, and by tiny bit, I mean about half of the dry mixture. This is the best part about making cookies, when you're on like that second to last step and you're just watching all of the ingredients slowly start to come together. Keep an eye on that red color just to make sure, like I said earlier, it's the red that you desire. Also, the fun thing about baking, right? It's totally up to you. What do you like to eat? How do you like for your cookies to look? Do you like crunchy edges and soft middles? Do you like them thin and crispy? It's up to you, and the modifications are always really easy to make. A little bit of dry mixture is almost mixed in all the way. This is when I add in the rest of my dry mixture. I don't let it incorporate all the way because I don't want to overmix the batter. So I'm going to add in the remaining half. In we go. And then I'm going to keep folding it together nice and slow before adding in the white chocolate chips. Look at this gorgeous cookie dough. I'm so excited for these cookies, you guys. All right, last part, everyone's favorite ingredient, the white chocolate chips. Do yourself a favor, get yourself a quality chocolate chip for this recipe. It's the highlight of the cookie. You can't cheap out on this one. Also, reserve just a little bit of chocolate chips for the tops of the cookies. That way you get that beautiful finished product. You know how sometimes you're looking at people's cookie pictures and you're like, how did they get all that chocolate oozing at the top of the cookie? They reserved some of the chocolate chips for the end, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna mix these in really quick, and you see how this dough is very sticky. We don't wanna scoop it when it's this sticky. So we're actually gonna pop these in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes, let that butter harden up again, and then we're gonna scoop them and put them in the oven. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes. I'm gonna check the refrigerator to see if the cookie dough is ready to be scooped. Good news is it's ready. Took about 15 minutes. Now it's at a much better consistency where I can actually scoop the dough and make it into beautiful mounds. You guys know that I like to use an ice cream scoop because I like cat head cookies. That's what they call them down south. That simply means a very large cookie. So I'm gonna scoop them out, place them about, I would say 2 inches apart, since the dough is still a little bit soft. That way it gives them plenty of room to spread and form those beautiful circles that we all love when it comes to cookies. I swear, I love making cookies. It's like my go-to for pretty much every holiday and event. They're just like easy to make. They're super nostalgic. I love everything about cookies, especially the fact that you can get really creative with them, right? So like these cookies, I feel like would have been really cute if we added maybe some pretzels to them. That would have gave them an additional crunch. That's something else we can do. But we're gonna jazz them up with our cream cheese frosting, so not to worry. We're gonna bake these in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes until the edges are nice and set. We'll take them out of the oven, let them cool, and we'll get started on the cream cheese icing. Sometimes when you're making your cookies, you'll be left with like a half cookie. Don't toss that batter. So you can see this, that's not a complete cookie. There's still some extra space in there, but I like to bake this because this is my taste tester cookie. This is the one that I taste because it's funny looking anyway, right? And I'm not gonna gift it to anyone. So this one I actually do bake and I taste it myself. That way I know, okay, these cookies are fantastic. I'm gonna bake the rest and then gift them to my friends and family. Also, remember those extra chocolate chips that we reserved, those white chocolate chips? Now it's time to put them on top of the cookies before they go inside the oven. Now these cookies are ready to go in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes until the edges set. Cook them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, y'all, timer just went off. Bam! Listen here, cookies are not just about taste, you guys. They are about appearance, and you cannot tell me that these cookies don't look fire. Look at that. You got the white chocolate bursting through, the beautiful red color. Can we say perfectly rounded? Come through, Jess. These cookies are everything I promised you they would be. Look at this. Beautiful red color, white chocolate chips popping, crispy edges. This is the part you've been waiting for. I know it, I know it. Here you go. Look at that. Gorgeous, soft, chewy middle, nice, crisp edges. Taste test? All right, here we go. Look, my dog is in the kitchen trying to lick up what I just spilled right now. That's how fire these cookies are, you guys. Full recipe up on my blog now. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Cheers.